Cool.
Well,
Oh,
Hello.
G'day, mate.
oh g'day. How are ya?
these Saints boys.
How are you?
Yeah, good mate. Good. I think I saw a photo of you on Facebook the other day,
Yeah, that's right.
copping a few likes there on one of the Saints pages.
Centre forward in 10 years.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
You beauty.
father son.
Like the Saints, aren't you?
You playing footy
He's
this
on.
year
Beautiful.
when they go back?
Yeah.
I would if they went back.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
are. They're coming back. We're on.
Yeah. Whereabouts are you playing? What club?
Byron.
Byron.
Byron Maggies.
Oh, the Byron Maggies. Right on.
Yeah, I coach the under 8s and under 10s this year. He's a wrecking ball, mate. He just goes straight through them.
Like his dad, huh?
That's great.
That's what I like to hear.
Straight through.
That's what the Saints need. Ripper.
Yeah, a bit of balls. Get a bit of balls in them.
You ripper.
That's fantastic.
Do you want to stay on for the interview, young one?
You can do this.
Sure.
Sure. Yeah, beautiful.
Stay
We'll ask you.
tuned, mate.
Yeah, we'll ask you a couple of questions. All right. Let's. I'll just do a bit of an introduction now. And what's your name, son?
Jack.
Jack. All right. So we got Jake,
Jake.
Matt, and Matt as well.
G'day, boys.
So pretty easy.
All right.
Nice to meet you, fellas.
Jack
All right.
Koschitzke. That's got a good ring to it,
That's
doesn't
got a
it?
good ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Alrighty. I'll just do a bit of an intro.
So we couldn't muck around with anything bloody other than just bang Jack.
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 Just Jack.
Mate, it's straight up and at him. So Jake, look, Jake runs this. Saints. Hang on. Where are you? This Saints Instagram.
A few Lenny pictures
Saints
away.
official. Puts all this cool Saints shit.
Cool.
Alrighty. I'll crack into an introduction and then we'll start asking the questions.
Right.
Alrighty, Saints fans, we're very excited to bring in the one of the most celebrated Saints footballers of the modern era and the high-fiving assassin, Justin Koschitzke. Welcome aboard, and his son Jack Koschitzke, future champion of the St Kilda Football Club. How are we, fellas?
Yeah, very good tonight, thanks.
Great.
Very good. Now, while we've got Jack here, we just want to talk about. Do you remember Dad playing footy at all? Or are you too young for that?
He ran out with me on the last game.
Yeah,
you remember
I
that?
slightly
Oh, that's
remember
right.
playing.
Oh, that's good.
I
And
was pretty.
yeah, and do you remember it being enjoyable? Was it good fun to get out on Etihad Stadium? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, good stuff.
We'll
And
do it
are
again.
you proud of your dad for playing 200 games with the mighty Saints?
I'm so proud.
Ah, there we go. That's what we
Yeah,
like to
beautiful.
hear. Bit of love. And where are you playing footy this year, Jack?
Byron.
Byron Bay.
Byron Bay Magpie.
The Byron Bay Magpies. Good stuff. And what position?
Sorry.
What position are you
position?
playing?
We swap it all around, but I like mids.
You like mids,
Ooh.
big body midfielder.
Roam forward, kick it back.
Yeah.
Oh, he goes up with the knee and takes a few out, don't you?
Yeah, that's what I like to hear. Yeah, just like Dad, huh? Just like Dad.
Oh, but
Beautiful. All
Another
right.
one here.
Oh, we got another one. We got another little one.
We got the whole fam.
Who have we got
Have a
here?
shower.
Have a say hi.
Ava.
Hello.
Hi, Ava. How are you? Are you
Good.
are you a Saints footy fan?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
There's some question marks.
You go to the Saints or what? When I played my last game, Ava was only about 6 or 8 weeks old, 2 months old.
Yeah.
So she didn't get the old. She got the handball off the mum and see you later, Jack and I.
Well, at least he didn't damage her.
No, she can't remember it.
No, that's all right. As long as we got to get you into some Saints footy gear, eh?
Yeah, they get all the
Yeah.
gear. They get the membership stuff every year. They run around the 23. They love it.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Fantastic.
It's a good number.
AFLW all opening up for you, Ava.
She's actually the little athlete. She played under 6 from Byron last year and quite the sidestep, and she's a slight little thing, so she's just run them all down. Not a bad little player. Loves the foot.
It's in the blood.
That's
I
magnificent.
love that. Footy family.
Footy daughter, father-daughter as well.
Yeah,
Both
exactly.
of the AFL.
We've got we could have two little cozies running out.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. How good is that now that the girls can get out on the field, Ava?
Yeah.
Are you really enjoying playing football?
Mhm.
Yeah? Oh, that's fantastic. And have you watched any of the Saints girls play?
No.
I really
Not yet?
didn't see much of it last year, but yeah.
Yeah.
She plays with the girls. So.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
As long as you're getting your hands around to Sharon, that's the way to do it.
All
Yeah.
good.
Well,
Beautiful.
Do they play with a Ross Faulkner up in Byron Bay?
No, I banned that. They tried to pull it out, and I just said, no. They only play with junior Loz kick ones yet, so
Yeah.
yeah, they tried to rope me into a game with the Byron Maggies last year, and I just conveniently did a hammy.
That's reminiscent of your football days anyway for AFL, isn't it?
Oh.
Oh, yeah, I didn't mean to back then. It just happened.
Yeah, I didn't mean to. Beautiful. All righty, well, we might get stuck into some questions with Dad. You kids can stick around if you want and make fun of him all you like. That'd be good fun. Now, we saw last night that Lenny Hayes has been put into the AFL Hall of Fame as a former player.
He got in before I did.
What's that?
He got in before I did he?
Yeah, he got in before you did, which has been like you retired a year earlier, so you're probably
Selectors on this panel, mate.
We just want to know a couple of things before we get stuck into the Cosy questions, because we were just talking about it before in the previous segment. His best on-field attributes, but then his best off-field attributes. What would you say?
Oh, mate, Lenny was courage personified. He was the ultimate competitor. He prepared like no one else. Like, people forget that during his 297 whatever games he played, a couple of shoulder recos, a couple of knee recos. He had a knee reco, I think, in his second last year. Came back. He had an open heart surgery and came back and won the best and fairest. He was just the ultimate competitor, ultra hard on himself. And Rossi Lyon tells the story that he was the catalyst, and it's in his book actually, but he was the catalyst to get us going for the 2010 campaign, because everyone was sort of moping around and with Rossi Granny in 2009. And then Rossi looked out his window and here's this bloke doing strides about a month later in the hot sun up and down Moorabbin, and looks out and it was Lenny, and it was like, right, if Lenny can get going, we can all can. So that sums him up. He left nothing out on the field. You knew that week in, week out, you could turn to Lenny and you knew what he was going to bring. So absolute privilege to play with him, and, obviously a very worthy inductee into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, beautiful.
Well said. Yeah.
That was fantastic words there on Lenny Hayes from Cozzy.
Now,
That's
not being serious. He loved the beer of the boys too, Lenny. Don't worry about that.
Oh, there we go. So he's an all-rounder. He's one of the blokes.
So you got the Great Northern cracked on the desk there.
It's a bit of Carlton Dry, I think. Yeah, bit of Carlton Dry.
That's the selected one, but well done.
Yeah, just
having a read of this, Cozzy.
Yeah, now when we walked in to this studio, this is a new studio. We've never been in here before.
Yeah.
This is brand new territory for us. We walked in, and on the bookshelf, staring us down the barrel, I kid you not, is this.
There you go.
We have that magazine.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, see? Dad in 2008. Now, we thought this is a great open, because this is going to be a fantastic interview, and if we don't get you on, we can just read through this and talk about the questions that you answered in this and pretend that we asked you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
We had a huge...
What's that? Yeah.
He had a huge mullet back then.
He had a huge mullet. Yeah, you can see it. There we go. I'll put it up to the camera so the viewers can have a look at the huge mullet.
Yeah, that's tasty.
Yeah.
That's G-Train territory there.
G-Train territory. Now, are you a fan of the mullet, Jack, or not a fan?
Sort of mixture of both.
Mixture of both. Okay. It's day on, day off, so you can let Dad put his mullet on when he wants. Yeah. Alrighty. Now we want to talk a bit about the coaches that you were under. You're under Malcolm Blight for your first year, then under Grant Thomas, Ross Lyon, Scott Waters. We just want to hear about who was your favourite coach to play under, and for what reason?
Well, Blighty was my first year, so that was as an 18-year-old kid coming down from the country, and Blighty was the messiah of footy and such a big name. I was sort of awestruck, and then obviously that didn't work out. He only coached 15 rounds or 14 rounds or something my first year, and Tomo came in, and then Tomo just had this huge fatherly figure over us. He treated everyone on the list like his own kids, and he already had 8 of his own.
Yeah.
So he opened the doors, and we'd go around for dinner, and he was instrumental in putting the group together that we had for the 2000s. He really went out and selected personalities, and he was a really good reader of character. So I think a lot of credit goes to Tomo for putting that 2000 side together, and then. When his era came to an end and Rossi came in, Rossi just added a real structured, hard-nosed, quality game plan, and really Rossi could get you to run through a wall. So week in, week out, he'd get the boys up, and I learned a lot under both of them.
This leads me to a question I've been thinking about for a long time, Cozzy. 04-05 teams versus 09-10. Which team would win? Which team was the better team?
I don't know who would win because we played very different games.
Yeah, one was attacking, and then the other one was ultra defensive.
You're right. So 04-05, we had the G-Train and Rui up forward and Hamill on fire, and
yourself.
That was a game plan of quick inside direct. That was basically all we had to do. Just get it inside quick and go bang. So. And then the 09-10 was a very structured defensive forward pressure sort of game plan. But it'd be interesting which one would win it. They did the Saints team of the decade for the 2000s that come out a couple of weeks ago, and everyone's bored as batshit because of COVID. Picking teams from everywhere. Yeah. But that side was mouth-watering. Like to have a lot of the 09-10. Imagine Hamill at his peak in the 09-10 being a forward. Like that's just that was an amazing team. That one would beat anything.
Yeah. Fair point.
So,
Cozzy, I was telling the boys about a story of you. You're down at the McKinnon Hotel one night, and essentially, Mum loved you. And Dad was at the pub, and he called Mum, and he's like, "Oh, Cozzy's down at the pub," and she's she freaked out. She's "Oh, that's great. Say g'day to him for us." And then so Dad went over to you and said g'day, and also passed on a g'day from Mum. And you were good enough to go, "Oh, I'll send her a text message off your phone." And Dad was rocking one of the old Nokias, like the bricks, and you basically just said, "Oh, stuff this. I'll just give her a call," and you gave Mum a call. And she loved it. And I think that sort of highlighted how much of a good bloke, a good Saints man you are. And I was just wondering, do you have any sort of memorable fan interactions that sort of come to mind?
Yeah, I reckon that was about 6 or 8 years ago. And you can tell your mum to stop ringing me now.
Oh, fantastic.
But oh look, I used to love family days. Used to love because you get the real proud and passionate sort of guys there that are rain, hail and shine, the cheer squaddy sort of people, and it was always good because we got we were no one without the fans, and Saints fans have traditionally lived through a lot of heartache and a lot of ups and downs. And, we're pretty proud that 2000 side was, the phenomenal amount of wins, obviously without winning a granny, but it was a great era. But to get to those family days and, to be so fortunate enough to play over a decade or so, you'd see the kids of the fan club, of the cheer squad, and then 10 years later they're grown up and they're still coming down, or you see the generation change and you see the fans' kids, and that was always just it really made you feel what you did was worth it.
Oh, beautiful,
Fantastic.
beautiful. Now I was
cheeky phone call.
Very good. She'll be wrapped with that.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Now I was just reading the articles in here, and it talked a little bit about just the comeback from your concussion after the famous Jean Syracuse hit. Now, back in the mid 2000s compared to now, the concussion tests and everything like that have come such a long way. And you look at a kid like Paddy McCartan, who's really struggled to get into football through having concussions. Now, what was it like back then compared to now? Was there as much sort of finesse in dealing with all the head injuries, or was it just kind of like, give you a couple of weeks off and then you're back in, you'll be fine?
Yeah, no, there wasn't the scrutiny that it goes under now, and rightly so. Like the guys now are protected really well, and as they should be, because it's they're dealing with their long-term future and health. But in that generation, it was if you felt okay the next week, off you'd go again, and I played out games without remembering driving home and that sort of stuff. So fortunately that doesn't go on for the kids, and now and Paddy McCartan. Is in a really delicate position. And my advice is that life's if he's carrying some.
Sorry, we just might get you to say that one again, mate. I need to edit that a bit. Fell out a bit of reception, just that last bit, if that's all right.
I just said, Paddy McCartan's in a real delicate situation, and if he's got some sort of symptoms, life's a pretty big journey after footy. So, I'd encourage him to think about not playing. It's really not worth it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Now, we see a lot of players post-retirement, like the likes of Sean Dempster, who have still had that ongoing issue of concussion and the repercussions of it. Is that still a thing that you have to deal with day to day, or have you fully recovered now and back to normal? You don't get the headaches or anything, or?
Yeah, no, I certainly do. Certainly haven't recovered. I think it's a really delicate question and one to answer, because you sort of don't know how deep the symptoms are, and you don't really know. But short-term memory loss and mood alterations are certainly come into play. So, that's why it's so good that the kids are screened so heavily now, and that they have to take into account their future.
Yeah, absolutely. It also said in here just a little bit about yourself. You gave yourself a little bit of a kick up the bum at one stage. I think this was 2008, and it said, in plain and simple terms, pull your finger out, get back on the park, get to doing what you do best. Now, around that time, you've spoken about your mental health and how the AFL had a massive strain on that. Was that the way that you kind of dealt with it throughout your career?
Yeah, I think that was the done thing with that generation. I sort of grew up in the country and the farm, and it's just pull your socks up and get the work done, and not deal with the issues. So, I was very ignorant to what the consequences, I suppose, and it was a matter of just getting on with it and getting back out there. It was hard because if your leg wasn't broken or you haven't done your hammy, or you could still physically run. You could hard up and get back there, which is absolutely the wrong attitude.
Yeah. So would you say for kids coming up now, especially through the AFL system and how grueling it can be now, what's the bit of advice that you would give them if they start to go into that trend of just self-doubt and they just get into this sort of snowball attitude of what they're worth? Is there anything you would say to them?
I'd certainly encourage them to speak about any issues along the way and not cover it up. The clubs are so well equipped with welfare officers and development coaches and psychologists and all this sort of stuff, and you don't have to just push everything to the side, because at some stage or another it's a brutal game, and even in your first couple of years your body and your mental well-being is going to be tested. There's no doubt about that. You can't go through a season without that. So, instead of pushing it under the rug and getting on and just putting on a brave face, I'd encourage everyone to speak about it and have some sort of backup. And the AFL Players Association's a great get out. It can be anonymous outside the club if you don't feel like talking to someone in your club. But I think the days are gone where you pull your socks off and up and just play on with it.
Yeah, I think that's really well said as well, considering what we're coming through now in terms of a worldwide pandemic and a lot of people feeling alone and isolated. So that was really good. Thanks, Justin. We're going to get onto a bit of a lighter note now. Jakey's got a few quick-fire questions for you, if you're up for it. And we just need quick, short answers. Yep. And whoever first comes to mind.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right.
Far away, Jakey.
Best player on field that you've played with?
Very well.
Best off field?
Baker.
Ooh.
Toughest player?
Matty Scarlett.
Oh, okay. Opposition. Fair call.
Funniest player?
Toughest.
Toughest
No.
teammate?
Stevie Baker or Lenny would be the toughest. They'd run through a brick wall. Bake's just played through phenomenal pain and all sorts of stuff. So, yeah, he's pretty hard.
Funniest player?
Stevie Baker.
Baker's just coming up with trumps here.
Votes. Yeah, he's getting a lot of love.
Best win in your
Very
career?
good team. 09 prelim.
Yeah.
I think most of us would say that
fantastic.
too.
Yeah, we all unanimously agreed that was our favourite game of all time to watch from the Sainers.
Just really put us over the line and kicked 4 and played out of his skin, and just that the siren had gone. And after losing prelims in 04 and 5, and just that feeling when the siren went to know you're going to the big dance was pretty special. Half an hour after the game.
What about your best game? Individual best game? Because you went through that period in 05 where you dominated for 4 weeks.
11 out of a potential 12 Brownlow votes you got then. So
probably statistically one of those would be, but I feel like I played my best footy in 09 and 10. 09's probably the most consistent season. And when you're playing in those good teams, it wasn't it wasn't a stats game, like, because there's so many other KPIs that were, we were so good because we were judged on what we did off the footy. So, staying out of Rui's way and letting him and Milne kick goals were probably some of the better times that I had, because you just played your role and you had good wins.
Yeah, very fair, very fair.
Shall we go to some fan mail?
Yeah, I think we'll go to some fan mail for you now, Cozzy, just quickly, and then we'll wrap it up for you so you can get dinner on the barbie.
This is a good question. Everyone loved Lenny and thought he could do no wrong. So this guy wants to ask from yourself if there was ever a time when Lenny didn't come across as the nice guy, when Lenny just lost it.
Yeah, Lenny had as I said before, Lenny didn't mind a beer and he didn't mind going out with the boys. And we would always make sure if we were going out and having a beer, Lenny would be with us because the coach would be okay with that. But Lenny had a real issue with security guards. So just leave it at that. He just didn't really like the old security guard every now and then.
Bouncers in trouble.
Yeah, I think I'm like Lenny. I've never gotten along with bouncers purely because they just pick on me because I'm short and skinny. But I think Lenny might have a different approach to that.
They're going to be cops with authority, aren't
Yeah.
One more question from timespent_podcast, another podcast.
Oh.
How does Cozzy feel about that last goal in your last game that was overturned by goal review? The goal you kicked.
Look, I don't mind. I'd kicked 3 points previous to that, and it came off all right, that one. I just sure it shaved the post, and I thought that's good enough. So I went up for the big celebration. Everyone followed me. So I've got 30 seconds. I got to celebrate it with the boys until the peanut umpire just thought he'd have a look at it.
That's it. Because I reckon that was probably the most fun game as a Saints supporter.
Yeah.
Your big send-off game, and I remember you summed that moment up well, where you said that the Melbourne Storm tried telling them that they didn't win a flag and they had them taken off them. So, we've got Ferren Ray. We're lucky enough to have Ferren coming on next week, and he said to say g'day to you. And we were just wondering if you had any anecdotes about Ferren Ray that you might like to share, so we could sort of stitch him up a little bit.
Yeah, well, Ferren wore 22 and I wore 23, so we were pretty close in the locker room. And when he came to the club, I wasn't a huge footy follower, so I didn't really know many blokes from other clubs. And Ferren Ray, I thought they got his name mixed up around the wrong way. So I thought Ferren's not a first name, surely. So I just called him Ray. I thought his name was Ray, so that stuck for 10 years.
Very good. Well,
Nice one.
Thank you very much for coming on the show, Cozzy. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you. It's been great to get your insight on your playing career, those 04, 05, V9, 10 days, and just a little bit about mental health and what you should do if you're a young player coming through with it. So thank you so much for all your time, mate. We really appreciate you coming down and having a chat.
No problem, boys. Good on you.
Beautiful.
Thanks,